Hello, hi guys. This is CA Balakrishna from Lecturepedia.in. How are you? Hope you people are doing well. Even I am fantastic. Now, in the today's class, we will be revising Audit of Public Sector Undertakings. If you want revision classes for other chapters from audit and standards, I have already covered them. You can visit the playlist section. There you will be finding the revision classes for other chapters as well as auditing standards. So in the today's class we will be revising audit of public sector undertakings. First of all, what are these public sector undertakings? Generally there could be three types of public sector undertakings. Those companies which are managed by government departments like railways, postals, etc. Postal department. Okay, this is the one category of public sector undertakings, and the second category is government companies, the company in which 51% or more shareholding is held by government. Then that becomes a government company, which is a second category of a public sector undertaking. And the third category is corporations which are set up by a separate act like LIC, Unit Trust of India. These will be the third category of public sector undertakings. Now what you have to remember is that for all these public sector undertakings, the audit will be conducted by Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Now relating to this Comptroller and Auditor General of India, there are certain provisions in the Constitution of India. Basically we are having 5 articles which will be dealing with Comptroller and Auditor General of India. That starting with article number 148. Now what this article number 148 says is Comptroller and Auditor General of India will be appointed by President and his tenure is 6 years, and the removal of Comptroller and Auditor General of India shall be made only based on proven incapacity. Without any proper reason you cannot remove Comptroller and Auditor General of India. That is article number 148. And coming to article number 149, which deals with duties and powers of Comptroller Auditor General of India, and we are also having duties, powers and contract of services, DPCS Act, C&AG DPCS Act. Even this deals with powers and duties of Comptroller Auditor General of India. That is article number 149. Coming to article number 150, generally for all the government departments, the format in which the accounts has to be maintained will be specified by President. Now to the President, C&AG will give advice regarding the format of accounts of these public sector undertakings. That is article number 150. And moving to article number 151, which says that C&AG audit reports shall be submitted to President in case of central government and to Governor in case of state government. Hope this is clear. That is article number 151. These are certain aspects that are discussed in Indian Constitution related to Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Here you should also remember another thing is that the tenure of Comptroller Auditor General of India is 6 years. Okay. Next, now what are the organizations that are subjected to audit by C&AG? Organizations which are audited by Comptroller and Auditor General of India can be broadly divided into 4 categories. First category, all government departments, or you can call them all government ministries. We will be having various ministries, right? Home Department, Human Resources Ministry, Finance Ministry, like this there will be various ministries. The audit of all these departments will be conducted by Comptroller and Auditor General of India. And second one, public commercial enterprises. The categories of PSUs that we have discussed here, all these 3 will be coming under commercial public sector undertakings. Okay, these are public commercial enterprises. And non-commercial autonomous bodies like ISRO, even our ICAI is a non-commercial autonomous body. All these types of organizations will also be audited by Comptroller and Auditor General of India. And authorities or bodies, body corporates substantially financed by government. if in any authority or in any body corporate the government has substantially invested, then even those organizations will be audited by Comptroller Auditor General of India. These are the categories of organizations which are audited by Comptroller Auditor General of India. Hope this is clear. Now coming to, once Comptroller Auditor General of India completes his audit report will be placed in the parliament in case of central government and state legislature in case of state government. Now if you there will be numerous audit reports that will be submitted by C&AG, because there will be various government departments. If all these reports are placed before the parliament, it will take lot of time for the members of those parliament to analyze each and every report. So in order to help the parliament, there are certain committees established. Basically here we will be having three types of committees. What are those committees? See, committees associated with PSU audits. First one, Public Accounts Committee, Estimate Committee and Committee on Public Undertakings. Now let us discuss each of this committee one by one. Starting with the Public Accounts Committee. Basically there are three duties that will be performed by Public Accounts Committee related to government departments. This Public Accounts Committee will be dealing with government departments only. What are these three duties? First one, whether monies that have been disbursed or legally utilized for the purpose for which they are utilized. The Public Accounts Committee will check whether amount has been sanctioned for a particular purpose and whether it has been used for that same purpose or not, or whether it has been used for any different purpose, whether there are any such instances that will be checked by Public Accounts Committee. The amount has to be utilized only for the purpose for which it has been granted. Okay. Next, whether expenditure was authorized. Generally in case of all the government organizations, if any expenditure has to be incurred, that has to be authorized by proper officer, whether such authorization is actually there or not. Next, reappropriation has been made as per the provisions or not. Reappropriation means utilization, actual spending, whether actual spending of the amount is made as per the provision or not. Let's say they are making a provision of 100 crores but actually they are spending 150 crores, whether there are any such instances, that will be checked by Public Accounts Committee in respect of government departments. These are the three duties of Public Accounts Committee. Coming to the duties of Estimates Committee. What are the duties of Estimates Committee? First of all, it will report whether there are any economies or whether there are any developments possible for the policies that have been made. Okay, based on the estimates, let's say government wanted to take up a certain program. Now for conducting this program, such certain amount of expenditure is estimated. Now with that amount of estimated expenditure, whether any improvements can be made to that policy, whether any economies can be achieved in that policy, that will be verified by the Estimates Committee. And okay, they have thought of a particular policy, whether alternate policy is possible, okay, whether any best policy than this one is possible with the same amount of estimated expenditure, even that will be checked. Okay, suggest alternate policies. Next, it will check whether money laid is well within the limit or not. Along with it, it will also suggest the format in which estimations have to be presented to the parliament and the state legislature. Suggest the format of estimates. These are the four functions of Estimates Committee. Now moving to duties of Committee on Public Undertakings, COPU. Generally this Committee on Public Undertakings will perform the functions that are performed by Public Accounts Committee in respect of government departments. Public Accounts Committee will perform its duties with respect to government departments. Same duties will be performed by Committee on Public Undertakings with respect to Public Sector Undertakings. See, exercise financial control over PSUs as the pact has over government departments. Along with that duties, it will also examine the reports and accounts of public undertakings, and it will also examine the reports submitted by C&AG. Along with it, it will also examine whether the business of the public sector undertaking is conducted with the proper prudential norms or not. See, examine autonomy, efficiency, business principles and prudential commercial practices of public undertaking. Along with these duties, the Committee on Public Undertakings will also perform those duties which are assigned by the Speaker. Speaker may from time to time will assign certain duties to this COPU. Even those have to be performed by this COPU. These are the duties of 3 committees. Now coming to role of C&AG. What is the role of C&AG? First of all, C&AG is a friend, philosopher and guide to these 3 committees, and also the reports that are given by these by the C&AG will form basis of work of these 3 committees. Okay, the 3 committees will analyze the reports that are given by C&AG. So the report of C&AG is the basis for the work of these 3 committees. See, his reports form basis for working committees workings. Next, the C&AG will also scrutinize notes submitted by ministries to committees. The ministries, they will submit certain information, certain data to these committees. Now, in order to examine whether that data is correct or not, C&AG will help. Now, after examining, the committees have to submit a report to the Parliament. In order to prepare that report also, C&AG will help the committees. Okay, that is third point, helps in preparation of report. Next, basic elements of public sector undertaking audits. It is very important. Generally, we are having 3 elements. What are these 3 elements? First element is 3 parties. Who are these 3 parties? The first party is auditor. Okay. Second party is responsible party. Who is the responsible party? The client, the management of the public sector undertaking will be responsible party. And finally, intended users. Who are intended users? Shareholders will be intended users. These are the 3 parties which is the first basic element of public sector undertaking audit. Next, coming to the second element. Here, subject matter criteria and subject matter information. In this second element, we are having 3 terms. One is subject matter. What is subject matter? The information that is being verified will be known as subject matter. Okay. Criteria. What is criteria? Now, generally remember that criteria means a benchmark. You will compare subject matter with criteria. Okay. That is criteria. Now, once you compare the subject matter with the benchmark, with the criteria, then you will arrive at subject matter information. Subject matter information. This is the second element. And third element is type of engagement. There are 2 types of engagements. One is attestation engagements. Best example, financial audit. Now, in this attestation engagement, the management will compare the subject matter with the criteria and will present the subject matter information to the auditor. Whereas in case of direct reporting engagement, the auditor himself has to compare subject matter with the criteria and he has to arrive at subject matter information and he has to give report on the subject matter information. All the work will be done by auditor himself in case of direct reporting engagements. Here examples would be compliance audit, performance audit. These will be examples of direct reporting engagement. Hope this is clear. Here I have given the definitions of subject matter, criteria and subject matter information. You can go through that. Next, coming to principles of PSU audit. Generally, we are having 2 types of principles. One is general principles and another one is principles which are related to audit process. General principles, these principles you already know. Ethics and independence has to be followed by the auditor. Next, professional judgment, due care, skepticism. Okay. Next, quality control has to be maintained in the firm. And you should also check whether audit team is eligible and audit team is having sufficient skill for performing the audit. Okay, whether audit team is having sufficient skill, that has to be checked. Next, audit risk, materiality, documentation, communication. These are the general principles. Coming to the principles related to audit process, what will be involved in audit process? First one, planning the audit, conducting the audit, reporting and follow up. These are the three principles related to audit process. This is very simple. Coming to powers of C&AG. What are the powers of C&AG? First of all, C&AG will appoint government auditor, as we have discussed in the Companies Act. Within 60 days from the date of incorporation of the government company, C&AG will appoint the first government auditor, and the subsequent government auditor will be appointed within 180 days from the date of completion of financial year. That is authority of the C&AG to appoint government auditor. Now, once the auditor gives audit report to the C&AG, the C&AG within 60 days is having to order for supplementary audit. Let's say C&AG feels that some of the areas are not audited by the auditor, or C&AG wants still more comprehensive audit of the same. In that case, C&AG can order for supplementary audit within 60 days from the date of giving the audit report. That is the second power. And coming to the third power, C&AG can also order test audit. In the first case, supplementary audit, C&AG is not having any doubt over the work of the auditor. But here in the test audit, C&AG feels that the auditor has not performed his duty well. So, C&AG wants a test audit to be conducted. Now, to order test audit, there is no time limit. And section number 19A of C&AG DPCS Act will be applicable for this test audit. Hope this is clear. These are the powers of C&AG. Now, coming to types of audits in case of public sector undertakings. Generally, there will be 5 types of audits in case of PSUs. What are they? First one is financial audit. Next, compliance audit, performance audit, proprietary audit and comprehensive audit. What are these 5 types of audit? We'll discuss them one by one. Starting with the financial audit. As you all know, audit of financial statements in order to express opinion whether financial statements are showing true and fair view, and in order to enhance the degree of confidence of intended users. This will be the main objective of financial audit. Coming to compliance audit. Now, the main purpose of the compliance audit is to check whether the organization is complying with all the laws and regulations or not. That is the first point. And also to check compliance of propriety aspect. Okay, focuses on regularity, compliance as well as proprietary requirements. And compliance audit can be done along with financial statement audit. Okay, along with audit of financial statements, or compliance audit can be done individually, separately also can be done, and in combination with performance audit also it can be done. Now, what is the performance audit? Let us see. Performance audit. Now, performance audit involves independent assessment of performance of government, organization, program, activity or function. Now, in case of performance audit, auditor will assess what is the performance of particular program or what is the performance of particular organization. He will assess the performance. On which criteria he will assess? There are 3 criteria to assess performance. What are they? These are 3 E's: economy, efficiency, effectiveness. Starting with economy. What is meant by economy? Economy is procuring at the lowest price possible. That is economy. Okay, reducing the costs. Okay. Now, what is effectiveness? Effectiveness refers to achieving the objectives of the program. Let's say, while starting the program, you wanted to you kept 10 goals. You wanted to achieve 10 goals. If the 10 goals are achieved at the end of the program, then you can say that the program has worked effectively. If you achieved only 8 goals or 7 goals, then you can say that the program has not worked that much effectively. This is effectiveness. Now, in order to determine this effectiveness, auditor will check the following. See, regarding effectiveness, what will be checked by the auditor? First of all, he will see what are the objectives that have to be achieved, and in order to achieve those objectives, what are the means that have been provided. Okay, objectives and means, and whether there is a proper correlation between these objectives and means. If you want to achieve a particular objective, then you have to proceed in a particular manner, but you are doing completely opposite. That is not permitted. So auditor will check whether objectives and means are consistent with the policy or not. Then extent to which results are achieved. Okay, how much of results, how much of goals have been achieved by you, whether all the goals are achieved or still there are pending objectives that have to be achieved. That will be checked by the auditor in order to examine this effectiveness. Next, he will assess and establish evidence whether the goals that have been achieved is due to the result of this program only, or there are any external factors that have contributed for achieving the goal. That will be checked by the auditor. Next, he will identify factors inhibiting satisfactory performance. Okay, due to which reasons the goal has been achieved, that factors will also be checked by the auditor. Next, he will assess whether laws and regulations have been complied in order to achieve that particular objective, and he will also assess effectiveness of program on individual components. Okay, these will be checked by the auditor with regard to effectiveness. Coming to efficiency. Now, efficiency can be understood in two ways. The first one is generally efficiency is the relationship between input and output. The first way to understand efficiency is achieving maximum output at a given level of input. This is the first way. Coming to the second way, utilizing minimum input to achieve the set output. So, efficiency is to utilize minimum inputs to achieve the output that has been set, or to achieve maximum output from the minimum input that has been given. That is efficiency. Now, in order to verify this efficiency, auditor will check whether there are sound procurement practices or not. Procurement means purchase practices. And he will also see whether those procured items have been properly protected and stored within the organization or not. And he will also examine efficient use of human resources, not only raw materials, even the human resources has to be utilized efficiently. Even that will be checked by the auditor. Next, use of efficient operating procedures, whether operating procedures that are being followed in the organization are efficient or not. And he will also verify objectives of public sector programs are met cost effectively or not. So these will be checked with regard to efficiency. Hope this is clear. These are the three aspects of performance audit. 3 E's: economy, efficiency, effectiveness. Now, how the performance audit will be planned? A very easy concept, you can easily remember. First of all, you will understand the entity or the program, then you will define objective and scope, then you will determine audit criteria, then you will decide the approach that has to be followed in order to conduct the audit, then you will develop a audit questionnaire, then you will assess the skills of the audit team, and then you will prepare audit design matrix, then you will establish timetable and resources, and finally you will intimate to the client that this is how we are going to conduct the audit. Intimate to the client regarding the audit program. Okay, this is the way in which you plan the performance audit. Coming to proprietary audit. Now, in this proprietary audit, there are certain principles which will be checked by the auditor. First one, auditor will check whether the expenditure is prima facie not more than the occasion demands. No excessive expenditure should be spent. The amount of expenditure should be based on the demand of the occasion. Next, authority sanctions expenditure which will not accrue to its own benefit. The public officers should not use their power to sanction the expenditures that will benefit for their own self purpose. That should not be made by the public authorities. They should not misutilize the power. Next, funds should not be utilized for the benefit of particular person or particular group of persons. the funds, the government funds should be utilized for the benefit of public at large. Even this will be checked by the auditor in the propriety audit. Next, apart from agreed remuneration, no other avenue must be kept open to the public authorities. Hope this is clear. And finally, every officer would exercise same vigilance in respect of expenditure as a person of ordinary prudence would exercise in respect of his own money. Same, that type of vigilance and due care has to be exercised by the public officers while spending the government money. This will be checked in case of propriety audit. Now, the elements of this propriety are also present in the Companies Act. If you see section number 143 subsection 1, there will be 6 elements that have to be inquired by the auditor, whether loans and advances made by the terms and conditions of loans and advances made by the entity are prejudicial to the interest of the entity, and whether any entries that are made by a book adjustment are prejudicial to the interest of the entity, and whether investments made by the entity are sold at a price less than the cost, and whether any personal expenditure is shown as a revenue expenditure, and whether any shares have been allotted during the year for the cash, whether the cash has actually been received. Like this, there are 6 elements that has to be inquired by the auditor in the Companies Act. All these are related to propriety aspect only. And in the same way, section number 143 subsection 6 and subsection 7, supplementary audit, test audit, even this involves a propriety element. And section number 148, cost records and cost audit, which involves propriety element, and additional information in the part 2 of schedule 3 formats. And you can also observe the element of propriety in CARO 2020 in clause number 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15 and 18. In all these clauses are related to propriety element. Now, there are certain problems that are associated with this propriety audit. The first problem is that the term propriety is a moral term. Okay, you should understand the moral term by referring to what is morality, accepted morality in the society, because a particular activity that is treated as moral at a particular point of time might be treated as immoral at a particular point of time. So it is also a subjective decision. Okay, for a particular person, a particular activity might be moral, the same activity might be immoral for another person. So it is subjective, varies from different person to person. Okay, these are the 2 problems. So auditor has to always, the auditor who is conducting propriety audit has to always exercise objectivity. Now, in order to tackle these problems, what the government has done is, the C&AG has done is, it has come up with a norms of propriety in order to deal with these problems that are present in the propriety audit. Now coming to the final topic, comprehensive audit. Comprehensive audit is a efficiency cum performance audit. You can consider this as a 360-degree audit which mainly focuses on identifying the areas of weaknesses and extravagance for management information. Now what will be checked by the auditor in this comprehensive audit? Auditor will compare whether overall cost, overall capital cost or within the approved cost or not, whether overall cost has exceeded the approved cost. In case there is excessive overall cost, then what is the reason for such excessive expenditure? That will be checked by the auditor. And auditor will also verify whether planned production or operational outputs have been achieved, whether the objective has been achieved or not, then whether planned rate of return has been achieved, and whether sound project formulation and execution systems are present or not, and whether there are adequate cost control measures present, and whether there are adequate purchase policies that are present in the organization, and whether adequate system of repairs and maintenance is present in the organization, and whether procedures that are being followed in the organization are economic and effective. and finally he will see whether there are any poor or insufficient project planning that is present in the organization. Like this, all these areas will be checked by the auditor in case of comprehensive audit. That is the reason why the name of the audit itself is kept as comprehensive audit, because various areas will be covered by the auditor in case of comprehensive audit. Okay, this is revision of audit of public sector undertakings. And if you want to purchase the classes, you can visit our website lecturepedia.in and you can place your order. Okay, take care, bye bye.